This is a reading for QT. This is a requested reading for QT. And before I start here, I've already saged the place up. Namaste. Hey everyone. This is a reading for Miss QT. And before I get started, I'm going to say some of my prayers here. Make sure that we're all protected. So I call upon the unconditionally loving angels of heaven and earth, ascended masters and goddesses, my own higher self, and my unconditionally loving team of guides. Please bless this reading to provide clear and precise answers and messages. Through spirit guidance, please provide healing messages that will help QT to take the next steps along her spiritual path, and then give her the answers needed to fulfill her divine destiny. Spirit guides, please bless this reading that it serves QT's higher good and blesses QT with unconditional love, light, protection, and grace. Through my own free will and the divine grace bestowed upon me, so be it. Spirit guides, I also ask that you bless my subscribers, anyone watching this video or listening to this reading, also with your divine grace and protection of love and light. Only beings of love and light are allowed in this space or to interact with this reading. I ask for divine protection for myself, the person I'm reading for, and for anyone watching this video. Through God's Holy Spirit, amen. Okay. Miss QT, I did take a few notes for you. I do know, according to the information that you provided me, that you are a Libra, which is air element, ruled by Venus. I'm also a Libra. I'm also an air sign, an air element, also ruled by Venus. So I thought that was pretty cool. Yours is the 14th, mine is the 19th. So that's pretty cool. They're only 5 days off from each other. I thought that was pretty cool. So in explaining what a Libra is like, it's kind of easy for me because I am one. So obviously you know enough about yourself to know that your strengths are that you're peaceful, you're smart, you're cooperative, diplomatic, gracious, fair-minded, social. One thing about the Libras, even just our astrological symbol is the scales of justice. So we're very fair-minded people. One thing I do have to say as far as not necessarily weaknesses, because I don't like to ever claim anything as a weakness, but one thing that Libras do have a little bit of problem with is indecisiveness, not being able to make up our mind sometimes about one thing or another. We don't like being confronted or combated with a lot of stuff that we all at once, that we have a hard time processing that when it all comes at us at once. But once we do make up our mind about something, we are pretty firm in our decisions. One thing is about Libras do tend to carry a grudge. I'm not saying this about you. I'm not saying this about me. It is something I did have a problem with in my younger years, and I did work on that about myself, and have actually been able to overcome that part of that shadow part of myself. Another thing with Libras that they have a problem with is they tend to, because they are so fair and they are giving and gracious and kind and kind of are the one everybody goes to for the answer, because of this they tend to feel sometimes they feel a bit taken for granted. Sometimes they feel a bit like used, not even used, but like everybody's counselor. And sometimes we can start feeling overwhelmed by that and start feeling sorry for ourselves, kind of, and that, well, hey, I'm always worried about everybody else. What about me? That kind of an attitude comes in sometimes, but for the most part, harmonious, gentle, very family oriented, uh, a sharing type person that will share, give you the clothes off their back. Also, Libras are known to be people who enjoy the outdoors a lot. So, those things, a few things Libras absolutely dislike is violence, injustice, like loudmouth, overbearing type people that are just rude. Um, Libras have a bit of problems with conformity. They don't want to conform. They want to do what's right and just. Also, too, Libras have a hard time being alone. So, in tapping into your energy, I did pick up a lot of these traits in you. Um, you're very young and you're kind of just starting out in life, and you you have you're not quite sure exactly yet kind of which road pathway you want to take, like as far as career wise, or like at this point you almost feel like you're just like kind of uh, in a rut kind of a situation where something that you have some kind of a blockage. So I do feel that. I am picking that up. I am picking up the that you have some sadness, some pretty deep sadness. Also, that I am picking up that you have actually. I think you mentioned to me that you have recently lost a loved one, and I am picking up the energy of that person, female energy of that person, who is around you quite a bit. So I figured we would do an oracle type read, but I'm going to pull a few different types of cards and see what Spirit tells us about what's going on with you, Miss QT, right now in your life. So here, I don't know if you can see it or not, I have chosen a few type of stones that I feel are great for the grieving process, for healing. This is kind of like I feel like this reading is surrounding a grieving process that you're going through right now, and it's kind of put you at a holding pattern. And for grieving, some of the crystals that work to carry through the energy and help to raise your vibration out of that negative part of the feeling. Some of those are rose quartz, so I put in my beautiful rose quartz wand here with all of the colors of the chakras going up. I did this for a reason. I feel like your chakras need to be aligned, that you have some blockages happening, and you need to you could probably do with a good chakra cleansing. I don't know if you meditate or not. There's lots of guided meditations that you can find on YouTube that help with clearing your chakras if they're blocked, but I do feel like you've got some pretty good blockages in your chakras, mainly your heart chakra, obviously, because you're having some grief right now, but I want to say that you're having some root issues type, your root chakra issues as well. So that's something that if you're interested in, you can contact me and we can talk more about that in depth at another time. I threw in an amethyst, mainly because amethyst helps bring clarity during a channeling, and I figured if we were going to see if maybe we were going to get some visiting spirit energy, this would be helpful for that, as well as this one. This one also helps with channeling, and I call this one a tiger's eye. He's a pretty guy, so put that there. Also, too, because I do feel like your heart chakras are, your heart chakra is suffering quite a bit right now. I went ahead and added a few stones that help with that to the reading. One would be turquoise. This is a turquoise pendant that I wear a lot of times when I'm needing work done with my heart or love life. Greens, the color green stands for your heart chakra. And so when you're having a lot of heartache or any kind of love problems or you know, anything to do with your heart, even if it's just physical ailments, that's a good one for that one. And I wear that, and it literally lands right on my heart and sits right on top of my heart. Another good one is jade. All I have right now, I think I gave my last nice piece of jade away, so all I have right now is this tiny little jade cube that I got in a set of chakra healing stones. So I tossed that little guy in on the mix, and then we've got some selenite here. I went ahead and put a selenite heart in the mix because it does keep the reading protected and clean and clear. The only other thing I add, and I just leave this sitting on top of the cards until I get ready to use them, is what I call an energy conductor. It's basically crystal quartz points that go in all the directions, and then the stones here are also the chakra colored stones, and that is an energy conductor. It actually helps to bring the vibrations of the reading up. It brings in more clear and precise images into my mind, which I therefore try to interpret as to what the Spirit is trying to say to me, or what kind of messages are the divine is trying to pass down. Of course, I have to use my own mind to interpret those messages that I see in my mind. And I get those messages in all different kinds of ways. So today we're going to ask divine and spirit guides to please come in and help us with maybe showing us some energy surrounding QT and a grieving situation that she is going through right now that's causing her to kind of feel stuck in her, doesn't really know what to do next or what's coming next for her family at this point. I'm using my Crystal Visions tarot deck. That's what that one looks like. And I like to use this one because I do really connect with this deck for some reason. I have had this deck for years, and the messages on it don't always make sense to other people, but because I'm so connected to this deck, I've gotten certain cards over and over again that mean the same thing to me, so I'm very used to this deck and what it's trying to tell me. So I'm going to start with this one, and we're just going to pull a few and see what it has to say. So Spirit, can you please tell me, what is the overall energy surrounding, excuse me for my big sigh there, what is the overall energy surrounding QT and her current grieving situation that she's going through right now? What is the overall energy surrounding QT's family right now? What is the overall energy surrounding QT's family? Do you have spirit message for her, spirit advice for her that may help her? Any kind of spirit message or spirit advice that could help QT at this part in her time in her life. She's having a really rough time. Any kind of spirit message would be greatly appreciated for QT. She is a Libra, born the 14th, air element. Any spirit message you have for QT, I'm going to put. Alright. So usually what I do is I shuffle the amount of times that counts the letters in your first name. So I'm going to do that myself. I'm not going to say your name out loud. So that was one. sorry, that was too many. Okay, so if you noticed, oops, sorry. If you noticed, go back on my channel and watch my readings, and I always have to explain this, I feel like every reading, but I have MS and my hands have a problem with letting go. So sometimes I drop the handful of cards like that, and now I feel like I have to reshuffle. So usually what I do is I spell your name and I shuffle it out as I spell it. So I just... Okay, I got it right. I shuffled 5 times. Alright, and we're going to take the first and the second card from the top. And then we're going to take the last 2 from the bottom. Alright. Okay, so the first card we got is the 5 of Cups. Cups is a card of change. Or 5 is a card of change, I'm sorry. 5 represents change, and Cups is a card of love. So, Cups represents love, and considering that 5 is a card of change and the moon, a couple of these cups have wings on them. I take it that this card represents that you just lost somebody that you loved, and you loved a lot, and it changed your life. It really changed things a lot. So the cups represents love. A lot of the time this card represents a sadness, a loneliness, an emptiness, it's a card of change. 5 is a number of change, so it represents that maybe a change has happened within a love life. It can mean breakup, it can mean fighting, it could mean domestic violence, it could mean the loss of a loved one. That's what that one means to me. And the fact that she's sitting here alone in the nighttime with the moon tells me that there's a good possibility that you're losing sleep over this grief that you're feeling, that you're losing sleep, that you're having a hard time sleeping. Alright, the next card you got is the Chariot. And the Chariot card definitely is a card of moving on. Things are going to move along. Either you're going to travel, you're going to take an adventure, take a pathway, you're going to travel. The Chariot is movement. It's taking you and going somewhere. So for me though, this card definitely also means taking the reins. So like if you're it has represented for me in the past through many readings where someone has had to kind of take the reins and take over in a situation and take charge kind of the situation, and I really do get that energy off this card. I feel like maybe there's a real good possibility that you've had to take charge of the situation in such a way that you've had to help somebody through this, putting your feelings aside yourself. You've taken the reins to help someone else who's having a really hard time with this this thing that has changed, which this is someone has passed in your family. You've lost someone in your family, and you've kind of had to take the reins and maybe push your own feelings aside and just kind of pick up, dust off, and go. And that's kind of what us Libras do. The next card you got is an 8 of Swords. Okay, and this card definitely means that you're feeling kind of like stuck. You have a lot of different decisions or choices that you can make. There's lots of different, but this also can mean that there are you have issues in your life that are holding you down, that are that you are being held down. And the fact that she's blindfolded means that she doesn't even know it. So a lot of times you have aspects within yourself that are holding you back from being able to be the person that you're supposed to be, but you can't always see it, and are not always willing to accept it about yourself so that you can fix it. But this is telling me that you've got some stuff holding you back, holding you down, tying you down from leaving or moving forward. You've taken the reins in this situation that has happened with the loss of a loved one, but as far as your own journey goes, you're kind of bound and tied to this situation, and you've got stuff holding you back that you're not quite aware of or not quite willing to accept. So I'm not sure what that means for you or if that resonates, but that's what the energy I get off that card. The next card I got is the Magician. He came in the reverse. A lot of times the Magician means Magician comes in and he can solve the problem, fix the problem, pull a rabbit out of a hat. Honestly, the energy I get off this is that you had somebody in your life that you felt was kind of magical, or potentially somebody who made you feel magical. And the fact that he came in upside down is telling me that maybe you don't feel like that person is there for you. Or even this could be, I don't mean to be rude or offensive or make assumptions about anybody, but this could be your dad, because a lot of times as younger people, we view our father as being, our parents as being magical. They can make things happen. They can pull the rabbit out of the hat and make it happen, and they're able to fix everything, and we view them as being magical. And I have a feeling that because this one came in upside down, maybe you're not feeling as confident in that as possible, or maybe that. Okay, so I'm not sure where that left off at. I'm really not, so I'm just gonna keep going. I was asking Spirit for some advice using the Crystal Mandala Oracle cards. Some advice that could help QT right now with some situation that's happening. Okay, so it came right out. I don't know how much of the reading got cut out, because all of a sudden I looked up and realized I wasn't recording anymore. So I don't know where I left off at, so hopefully you guys didn't miss too much. So the card that came out is called Revelation. It's Angel Amiatiel, Revelation. And the crystal is blue obsidian. Blue obsidian. I do not own any blue obsidian, I don't believe. But we will read about this and see what kind of advice, pardon me, dropping everything, that Angel Amiatiel has for you. I'll explain to you. Okay, so I'm going to try to read this and show you the mandala, because there is a healing effect that comes with looking at the picture, but okay. I hope you can see that. Okay. We bring you the gift of revelation. There are times when not knowing is helpful. During such times, you develop unconditional trust in the universe. That trust will then support you in loving your life according to your personal truths. Okay, I'm going to set that down because my arms are not that strong. I'm going to finish reading now. This advice is coming to you from Angel Amitiel. Amitiel, okay? And it's spelled Amitiel, in case you want to look up Angel Amitiel. Okay, I'll continue. You need a lot of trust in yourself and in life to live with such courage. That trust will then support you in living your life according to your own personal truths. You need a lot of trust in yourself and in life to live with such courage. Not knowing the bigger picture can help you stay focused on what you need to do right now. Rather than getting too excited about the future, you become distracted from the work that needs to be accomplished in the present moment, unwittingly slowing down your progress and delaying the very future you want to draw closer to you. However, there are other times when it is more helpful to know, to understand, to see. A particular truth will help you gain perspective. Now that's where that card came in, where I was telling you that you kind of lack perspective, that you're not, that you kind of have decided to just kind of look away from the things about yourself that are holding you back. It says, let go of the past, heal a wound, and feel safer and feel more loved and more empowered and ready for the next step on your life journey. If a particular truth will help you gain perspective. So, realize that truth about yourself, gain perspective of it, and it will bring you that happiness and empowerment. This is one of those times, it's saying. This is one of those times, okay? We bring you the helpful gift of revelation now because you're ready to know a deeper truth. Okay, so right now you are ready to know a deeper truth about yourself. You need to realize something about yourself. It may not be a good thing, it may not be a bad thing, but there's something you need to realize about yourself that's going to help you grow and get past this. But you have to be open to it. It's saying that this is one of those times. Angel Emmetiel is bringing you a gift of revelation. So you're going to realize, you're going to be sitting in meditation, you're going to be sitting and thinking, and you're just going to know what that thing is. They give you the gift of revelation, which is they're going to reveal it to you. There is an expression that says, when it no longer serves you not to know, you shall know. So there's an expression that says, when it no longer serves you to know, then you shall know. That's kind of contradictory in itself, isn't it? There is an expression that says, when it no longer serves you to know, you shall know. For the spiritual aspirant who believes their path would be much easier if they only knew what was going on in their lives and why things were happening the way they were. This might seem questionable, yet there are benefits and empowerments that happen for us when we're in a not knowing phase of our life journey, laboring through darkness and confusion and not really sure what we're doing or supposed to be learning. During such times, there is a possibility to develop spiritual strength by learning to trust unconditionally in life. The unconditional trust that helps us have the courage to act on insights and revelations when they come. So be paying attention to those revelations that are going to be coming to you. You're going to have moments where all of a sudden you'll just realize something about yourself and you'll be like, hey, wait a minute, yeah. This is true about myself, and yeah, I am strong enough to do this, and yeah, I can do that thing everybody doubts that I can do. And these revelations, pay attention to those revelations that are going to be coming to you. And also too, you're going to be gaining some deeper insights into things. I think that there's going to be some adult conversations being had that um, where you're going to be learning, I almost want to say, things about your departed loved one that you didn't know before, that will help you to kind of come to grips with a new type of a relationship with her, because your loved one is not gone forever. Matter of fact, not even gone. Like, I always like to tell people, put your hand out, reach your arm out. Okay, wherever your hand is, that's where your loved one is. Because honestly, the minute you think about them, or you start talking about them, or even give them an ounce of energy of thought, they are right there. Their energy is right there. They can be in 100 places at once. So they are right there. And especially if you call on them specifically, they will come to you. Absolutely. They can't always manifest their physical, what their vessel looked like in that lifetime to you, but they do have ways of letting you know that they are there. And if you're open to it, you'll know. As much as we might feel we are always ready to know what's going on, that isn't actually the case. There are times when seeing the divine purpose behind what is happening and realizing exactly what we're letting go of and what we're growing into would intimidate or frighten us. That's saying the big picture can be overwhelming. It might even seem so grand and overwhelming that we shut down and resist the process because our minds don't understand that what seems so difficult or impossible now can seem utterly natural and comfortable several years from now. That reminds me of this. This card reflects exactly what that just said. So overwhelmed and feeling powerless that you can't imagine where you would be. Um, and that's what this card definitely reminds me of, is that statement. So it says, oh, now I lost my place. Okay. Maybe even a revelation of a glorious future would be so exciting that we could not stay present enough to do what needs to be done to actually allow it to happen. And when what that means is, even if we knew that something grand was about to happen, like we're about to hit it, man, we're about to get famous, we're about to get some money, about to win the lottery, it would actually cause problems that would get in the way of that actually happening, and actually um, prevent us from doing the things that we need to do to allow that to happen. Because everything happens for a reason, but everything is a cause and effect. There is a saying in the Sufi mystic tradition that the divine grants destiny with compassion. So, meaning the divine, which is God, he grants our destiny with compassion. So he does have compassion in our destiny. He cares about what's going to happen to us. What this means is that the universe really loves you and wants to nurture you onto your pathway with the right information coming to you at the right time. So, would you ask a kindergarten student to attend a postgraduate degree class in mathematics? Would you ask a child an adult, to handle the responsibilities that feel natural and even empowering for an adult to assume? What would happen to the kindergarten student or the child who is supposedly required so much more of them that they are naturally equipped to deal with at this stage of his life? How might they respond? So that's saying, maybe you're not fully equipped at this point right now, sweetheart, to receive the answer as to what you're going to do next or what's going to happen to your family. I know that those are the exact words that you use. What is going to happen to my family? And I don't think that grand overall picture is available yet. A lot has to happen. So what's going to happen to your family in a total type sense, it's not for you to know that yet. You're supposed to take it a day at a time, and learn what you're supposed to know as you're supposed to know it. In time with growth and development, those things could happen quite naturally and even more easily when there is no fear created by the mind wandering. That's another thing. When you're not having the fear and the sadness and of the loss, the fear of what are we going to do now, the loss of, oh, how am I going to survive without this person? That also can crumble up our mind and cloud up our decision-making processes, and also to very much affect what happens to us and what choices we make, and which path our road takes from there as well. Because the truth of what was coming is actually gotten too early. But we are at a phase in evolution on planet Earth where a lot can change in a short number of years, and boy, is that not the truth. In fact, a lot can change in a number of months, and don't we know that just by what happened with COVID and everything? What might throw you into a fear of if you knew it now could very well the same information you accept later with equanimity and trust, and perhaps even feel empowered and inspired by it. So it's saying um, you're going to feel empowered by the fact that you did what it took to get to the final answer of your question, what's going to happen to my family. Getting there, the journey there, is what's going to empower you. The universe knows what you need and when you need the best benefit from seeing what is happening from a higher perspective, including getting glimpses of how your future is unfolding. In the same way, when we insight about our future or an understanding about what is happening does come to you, then you're ready. You might be comfortable with it or feel very challenged and not feel ready. However, there is a world of difference between feeling ready and being ready. The universe knows of what you are capable, and when the insight comes to you, you can do something constructive with it. So that's good advice. That means at this point, any advice, as far as what's going to happen to your family, you're not going to be able to do anything with that right now. You've got to take step by step. You've got to take it day by day. What's going to happen with your family? A revelation is coming to you now because you are ready for it. Believe in what you see, feel, and know within your heart now and over the coming time. You're going to see a mystery revealed before your very eyes, and you may be startled, humbled, moved, and inspired by what you come to know. And that mystery is actually the mystery within yourself, the person that this is going to create out of you. Trust in what you perceive, no matter how radical it may seem. The divine is about to show you a glimpse into the heart of your life story and a positive prediction for your future. So that's a very good message from divine. That's a wonderful message from Angel Amatiel. And one thing that you can try to do, and which I do, is I know when I lost a very beloved family member to me, I immediately started speaking to her. I immediately started talking to her like as if she was right there in the room with me. And it brought me peace in my heart, because I would think, even if she can't hear me, it still made me feel better to be speaking to her. And that's what you start with. You start with just talking to her, because I'm telling you right now, she can hear you. And she is around you. And if you ask her for a sign, she will give it to you. You just have to be open to receive that sign. And they come in many different ways. And a lot of times they're very personalized. I get feathers. I get pennies from my special loved ones who send me signs. I get rainbows as well. So I'm going to say a little incantation for you. I call upon the crystal angel of blue obsidian and the angel Amatiel, who love me unconditionally. Thank you for the divine healing gift of revelation for my friend QT. I trust and receive the truth revealed in this. I accept the insight into her destiny and into what she is releasing and into what she is opening up to. Please give her insight I need and what she needs to know about the situations in her life which will serve her growth at this time. May these revelations be delivered with grace, mercy, and compassion. Make her strong enough to see and know the truth and feel unconditionally loved by the universe. And through her own free will, so be it. So this is a very healing message. I honestly have to say, basically, the energy I get off of this card of revelation is this. You wanted to know what's going to happen to your family now. Well, the big picture is not for you to see right now. You have some other situations happening here. You have some stuff going on in your life that you need to work on as far as yourself goes. Your own inner aspects, mainly. And you have to be open, sweetie, to see them. A lot of times we think, oh yeah, okay, well, I swear too much, but oh well, that's not that big a deal. Or you think, oh, okay, well, I didn't pay this bill, but that's okay. It'll just go to collections. I'll deal with it later. Or you think, oh, well, I borrowed this from somebody. Oh, well, I lost it. I'll just, maybe they won't remember. I mean, I'm just coming up with all different kind of things, but you have to stop and think, now, how would that make me feel? And you have to stop and think, okay, maybe what if I needed to work on my self-esteem? What if I needed to end a relationship that's toxic? What if I needed to change my mind completely and take a whole different pathway? What if I'm I have a hard time communicating with people? What if this, what if that? And once you start answering those what ifs one at a time and really looking into them, really telling yourself the truth, really accepting the answers and working on those things about yourself and knocking them off like a checklist, okay? Once you do that and you get rid of this burden, you get rid of this burden, then you get rid of this burden, all of a sudden your hands and your legs and everything's free, and this blindfold comes off and you're free. You're free of all that. But before you can get the full picture of what's going to happen to your family, although I see your pain and I see that you feel like you have to step up and be strong and keep this thing moving, I also see that you have a lot on your plate already, okay? So I'm not exactly sure what this guy coming in upside down actually 100% means, except for that maybe rather than magically everything happening, it's not going to magically happen. And it's going to take some work. It's going to take some hard work. So accept those challenges as they come. Take them one at a time. Spirit message says one day at a time. Spirit message says I'm hearing talk to her a lot. I'm hearing that as far as like the immediate grieving process goes, it's going to help a lot for you to just talk to her, tell her everything that you ever wanted to say that you felt weird about saying in her front of her face, good, bad, or indifferent. She's listening, she's hearing you, and she will also be instrumental in your healing process for you and your family. If you call her in and ask for her to come and help you with that, and her spirit guides will come and work with your spirit guides, and you have a huge team there to kind of help you through that grieving process. And spirit does tell me ultimately your family is going to be okay. maybe a little bit of some rocky times coming in the immediate future. I keep hearing financial, so I don't know if there's some financial situations happening, or if it's just everybody's having financial issues right now, it seems like, but I do keep hearing financial. So I also get the energy that you're actually a really very outgoing, very outspoken, very sweet, kind and loving, social, and that you have a good support group. You have a pretty good support group surrounding you, as far as some friends and some loved ones, and a tight-knit family that are going to be there to help you through this grieving process quite a bit. And so you just got to accept that, all that love, and soak it up, and then you breathe, and you go through each day one at a time, and you look at yourself. And one thing my grandma used to tell me all the time, before I lost her, and I'm her namesake, so she was very special to me. But one thing my grandma used to tell me all the time was that, if you can't love yourself, no one else can love you. And if you're busy fixing everyone else's problems, then you can't work on yourself. And then all of a sudden you'll turn around and you'll be like, wait a minute, I'm broken. And I've went and fixed everybody else's problems, but I'm broken. And rather than getting that sense of love and peaceful and satisfaction and that wonderful end feeling that you get when you do help someone and you are there for them, rather than being able to really appreciate that wonderful feeling that providing altruism gives you. If you don't know what altruism is, look it up. I think everybody should know what altruism is. You can't actually enjoy the feeling that altruism gives you, which is an amazing divine feeling that it must be how God feels, and his unconditional love that he gives to us. That feeling must touch on that. I think just touch on it, but you can't really truly achieve that feeling if you do everything for everyone else and you neglect yourself, and you refuse to look within and fix your issues, or accept help from others when it's needed. Try to take all the problem on yourself and overlook that you're tired, or that you're confused, or that you're sad, and not give that attention to yourself and neglect yourself. And in the end, you can't enjoy the satisfaction because you're broken. And the hardest part of that is that you did it to yourself. And that was great advice Grandma gave me. And so one thing I've always told everybody is love yourself first, because you can't love anyone else if you can't love yourself. And accept yourself for what you are. And when you're feeling overwhelmed, or you're feeling doubts or sadness or depression, a lot of times that just means that there's something about yourself you need to work on. And sometimes you don't even see or know what it is. So that's when I will stop and take some time to meditate and talk to my spirit guides and my loved ones that have passed, and ask for that beautiful gift of insight. We have Angel Amtiel here, who has offered to give you the gift of revelation. So look for those signs. They'll be coming for you now. Look for those signs. Look for those moments of revelation where all of a sudden you'll just realize something that never made sense before, that will make a big difference in a decision that you're going to make. So I don't know. I keep getting a weird feeling off of this card. I almost get like a boss type energy. Maybe like you have a bad manager that you're working with, or a boss, or an employer, or something like that. I'm basically being told this, try not to let this be a blockage. This is something that's happening. I almost feel like it has to do with your work, with your job. Something is going on with your work that's not good. It's you have a bad manager, or don't let that cause you to make hasty decision, or a bad choice that's going to make things even worse for yourself. Be careful, be weary of somebody who I do get a boss or a manager or employer type energy off this, or authoritative type figure that's yeah, trying to make things difficult. I don't know why, but that's the energy I get off that. So I if it resonates, great. If not, I don't. It's hijacking my reading. I don't know, but so so there you go. That's your reading. I hope it resonates. I hope it made some kind of sense for you. I hope it helped a little bit at least. My condolences for the loss of your loved one. And at this point, I think spirit advice is to make sure you take care of yourself first through this grieving process. You can't be there for your family if you don't take care of yourself first. So that is my takeaway, and with that I will say namaste.